Good afternoon all. Previous lecture we had discussed with embryo sac formation, and as you know that embryo sac formation, that is mature ovule, and it is monosporic type of the embryo sac development. Within 1 minute I can revise. 1 MMC megasporo mother cell undergoes meiosis division, and during meiosis 1 it produces the 2 cells known as DR cells, and then after meiosis 2 it produces the 4 cells known as megaspores. Out of the 4 megaspores, 3 are degenerates or 3 are absorbed by ovule. 1 remains known as functional megaspore. It undergoes thrice mitotic division and produces the 8 cells arranged properly in the ovule. Towards the micropylar side, so the integument layers are absent, that is known as micropylar end. At micropylar side, egg apparatus is there, centermost side egg cell, and laterally protected by 2 synergial cells. Except to the opposite side, micropylar side, chalaza is there, and towards the chalaza side 3 antipodal cells, and center of it 2 polar nuclei. So generally 2 polar nuclei later on join together to form the secondary nucleus. Okay, but most important thing, the mature embryo sac, it is 7-celled and 8 nucleated. Okay, now the filiform apparatus, synergid cells form the filiform apparatus. The wall of the synergid cell is made up of ectocellulose, cellulose and pectin, and here the synergid cells degenerates before entry of the pollen tube. Previously I had told to you that pollen tube is entered through the micropylar end. So the tip of the pollen tube is ruptured and double fertilization occurs. So today we will take the double fertilization. So synergid cells are degenerated just before entry of the pollen tube into the embryo sac. Which are the functions of the synergid cells? Attract the pollen tube during fertilization. It provides the way of entry of the pollen tube in the embryo sac, as well as it provides the nourishment. Synergid cells provide the nourishment. So synergid cells can form the haustoria. Synergy cells develop haustoria. Haustoria is a structure which provide nourishments or nutrients to developing embryo cell. So, one thing I want to tell you, haustoria type embryo cell is found in haustoria type embryo sac is found in Helixanthera named plant. Okay. So synergy cells from the haustoria, it provide nourishment. Fine. Then in the embryo sac, the three antipodal cells, two polar nuclei and egg apparatus, all these cells are connected together in a proper position by plasmodesmata. Okay, so synergy cells, central cell, secondary nucleus, or we say the two polar bodies. Okay, two polar nuclei. Two polar nuclei or secondary nucleus, also known as central cell. So this central cell is associated with egg apparatus and antipodal cells through the plasmodesmata. So actually two polar nuclei are there, but just before double fertilization, the two polar nuclei join together to form secondary nucleus. Fine. Antipodal cells, generally after double fertilization, antipodal cells are degenerated. So actually just before I had told to you, just before double fertilization, two synergy cells are degenerated. After double fertilization, three antipodal cells are also degenerated. So antipodal cells, your cytoplasm, contains starch, protein, lipid, ascorbic acid, and oxidases. So generally, antipodal cells give the nourishment. Antipodal cells and nucellus. It gives the nourishment to the embryo cell. Fine. And in some plant, Haustoria is also there. Okay. Here, three types of embryo sac formation is there. Yesterday I had told to you that Panchanan Maheshwari stated that there are three types of embryo sac development: monosporic, bisporic and tetrasporic. So, monosporic type of the embryo sac we have discussed this, that monosporic type. So here you have to remember so here you know that, sorry, here I made mistake here, 7 cell and 8 nucleated. Okay, this is known as polygonum type embryo sac. Okay, so 7 cell 8 nucleated embryo sac is known as polygonum type, and it is very common here in angiosperm plants. Okay, so here this is the important polygonum one. Now, pollination topic. You know that transfer of the pollen grain from one plant, from the anther to the stigma, we say like that. Transfer of the pollen grain from anther to the stigma, it is known as pollination. Here, pollination is of two types. Self-pollination and cross-pollination. But self-pollination, it is further divided into two types. Autogamy, that is in bisexual flower, So if the plant possesses bisexual flower, we say like that here in bisexual flower, the fertilization occurs in the same flower. Okay? Then geitonogamy. Unisexual flower of same plant. Yes, two different unisexual flowers are present on the different place of the plant. So in one plant, but two different flowers are there. In between that pollination occurs, that is known as geitonogamy. One important thing here, mechanically geitonogamy is cross-pollination. Why? Here in cross-pollination, there is a requirement of the vector. Vector is required. So here mechanically we say that it is cross-pollination. But genetically it is self-fertilization. Why? Because the pollen grain is of this same plant. Okay? Now, cross-pollination, allogamy or xenogamy. Generally, it occurs in the same species of the plant, but sometimes it occurs in the different species of the plant also. So, it is known as cross-pollination. And if the two plants are different, the cross-pollination showing plants are known as xenogamy plants. Okay, so for the two words are there. Autogamy occurs in bisexual flower. Example, rice is there. Okay, and you know that cleistogamy. In some plants, the flower can never open. So there is a chance of the self-fertilization here. So that mechanism, the mechanism in which flowers can never open, that mechanism is known as cleistogamy. And this type of the flowers are known as cleistogamous flowers. So here you know examples: Commelina, Viola, and Oxalis. Three examples are there. Fine. So these are the self-fertilization events, adaptations for self-fertilization. Now cross-fertilization in there, but one word I want to tell you in self-fertilization: homogamy. Dear all students, please understand it properly. Claistogamy means some flowers can never open. They are present in the bud form. Homogamy. Homogamy is an event in which self-fertilization occurs. How? Stigma and anther. The receptiveness of the stigma and release of the pollen grain from anther both are occurred at a simultaneous stage. This is known as homogamy. So release of the pollen grain and receptiveness of the stigma. Okay, so both are occur at the same time, known as homogamy. So these are the 2 points for homogamy. Now for cross pollination, dichogamy. Dichogamy, or we say that heterogamy. Now you know the meaning of this. Release of pollen grain from anther and receptiveness of the stigma both are at a different time. This is known as dichogamy or heterogamy. Fine. Here two things are there. Previously I told to you that stigma become receptive and anther release the pollen grain. Both the timings are different. So here two options are there. In some plants the stigma become receptive first, then the anther. That procedure is known as protogyny. See, generally here for easily remember this thing, you remember the common word pro. If stigma become receptive first, so it is related to gynoecium. So you write that gyne. And if anther release the pollen grain first, antry. So anther belonging to androecium. So two words are there, protogyny and protandry. So dichogamy consists two parts here. For promote the cross pollination. Some flowers are unisexual. So unisexuality also known as declining. Some flowers are unisexual one, so that flower possesses only one wall. So if male reproductive part is only there, we say this staminate flower, also known as male flower. But if you think about the gynoecium or carpel or pistil. So that female flower is also known as pistillate flower. Now, hercogeny. In some plants, physical barrier is there in between the anther and stigma. That is known as hercogeny. So, hook-like structure. Wood-like structure in Calotropis. That is the example of the hercogeny. So this is about the information of the pollination, two types, self and cross pollination. Now the next topic, agents of pollination. Already said that types of pollination. Actually, in NCERT textbook, there is a no detailed that much information, no proper headings are given there. So, for easy understanding purpose, each and every paragraph is given there. So, here some agents are used in pollination. So, you think about that. Agents are used in self-pollination and cross-pollination also. Think about geitonogeny. So, never say like that. Fine? That vectors are not present in the self-pollination plants. Right? So, agencies of pollination are so many here. Abiotic factors or abiotic agents. Okay, so two types of agencies are there, abiotic agencies and biotic agencies. Now, first of all, discussed with abiotic agencies. Abiotic agencies in that, two things are there, wind and water. So if the pollination occurs through wind, that is known as anemophily. And if the pollination occurs through water, known as hydrophily. Later on we will discuss this in detail one by one. Then second is biotic agencies. So in biotic agencies, continue with C. Entomophily. Actually, entomophily is a subtype of the zoophily. Yes. Pollination occurs through animals known as zoophily. But under zoophily, so many animals are included there. Fine. So if the pollination occurs through insects, known as entomophily, and here in entomophily type, the most dominant organism is honeybee. Honeybee collect the nectar. Honeybee visits so many flowers and collect the nectar. Then ornithophily. Birds. If pollination occurs through birds known as ornithophily, and the study of birds known as ornithology, you know that word. Cheropterophily, bats. If the pollination occurs through bats known as Cheropterophily. Melecophily, snails. Actually, the study of snail known as malacology. Fine. So pollination through snail known as melecophily, and myrmecophily, that is ants. So pollination through ants known as myrmecophily. So these are the types of the pollinating agents. So we have discussed the agencies of pollination. Now let us discuss with first anemophily. Here, pollination through wind, that is known as anemophily. So here only two things I want to tell you. No, three things. Male flowers are present on the top of the plant. Female flowers are present at the bottom. First point. Second, more number of pollen grains are formed. Why? Because wind through pollination in that there is a chance of loss of so many pollen grains. So large number of pollen grains are formed in these types of the plants. And third, pollen grain is non-sticky, dry and light in weight. As a result, it can easily float in air current. So when air passes through the plant, through air, this very light in weight and dry pollen grain is now easily pollinated. So you have to remember these 3 points. Male flowers are at the top of it, female flowers are at the bottom in many of the plants. Very large number of pollen grains are formed in these types of the plants. And here the pollen grain is dry, non-sticky and light in weight. Okay, so these 3 points you remember. Now here let us discuss with the examples. Maize, oak, cottonwood, grass, coconut, palm, date palm and cannabis. Okay, so these are the anemophily plants. You have to remember these points for MCQ purpose only. Fine. So these many points are there. Remaining things given in book. Next is hydrophily. Pollination through water. Pollination through water, that is of two types. Hypohydrophily. So hypohydrophily means the pollination occurs in submerged plants. You know that the plants which occur below the water surface level. These plants are known as submerged plants. Example, Zostera. Zostera is marine grass. And epihydrophyll that occurs in the plants floats on the surface of the water. Example, Vallisneria. You had already learned that how the pollination occurs in Vallisneria. First of all, what happened? In brief, I want to tell you. In Vallisneria, what happened? The anther comes on the water surface first and release the pollen grains on the surface of the water. And spring-like style is there in the gynoecium, in the female flowers. So, stigma comes up, okay, connected to the pollen grain and came back in the water again. So, this special type of the pollination occurs in Vallisneria. That theory portion is given in book, that you know it very well. Fine? Okay, so this is about the hydrophyll. One thing, in marine grass, to prevent the water absorption, fine, by the pollen grain. Mucilaginous covering. The pollen grain is mucilaginous. So mucilage covering is there surrounding to the pollen grain, so it prevents the water absorption. Okay, now entomophily. Many insects are involved here. Which are they? See, bees, wasps, ants. Belonging to Hymenoptera series. So many insects are included here. Bees, wasps, ants belonging to Hymenoptera, hover bees, Diptera. Moth, butterfly. Lepidoptera. Grasshopper. Locust, also known as king crab. If you know that locust king crab is the living fossil, as well as all these insects include in Orthoptera, because belonging to Arthropoda. beetles, Coleoptera, dragonfly, Neuroptera, bug, squash bug, Hemiptera, and thrips. Hycenoptera series. Okay, so this many insects are involved here. These insects acts as a vector. Now here some plants consist nectiferous glands. Here what is the speciality of the entomophily? Insects through pollination, here two things are there. Some flowers produce the nectar. So to obtain this nectar, insects is attracted towards it. And some flowers consist edible pollen grains. So insect coming in contact with this flower to eat the pollen grain. So nectar is produced by nectiferous glands. Some flowers consist edible pollen grain also. Example, rose and pepperwort. Pepperwort somniferum. Pepperwort somniferum consists one plant known as opium poppy. And from this unripened fruit, opium poppy, we obtain the opium, opioid, known as affine. And this opium consists two drugs, morphine and codeine. Morphine acts as a painkiller, strong painkiller, and codeine is used in cough syrup. Okay, so here the speciality of these flowers is, here these flowers consist attractive coloration of petals and attractive inflorescence, arrangement of the flower. And here the pollen grain is sticky. Pollen grains are produced very less in number. Why? Because at the time of insect is coming in contact with the flower, then and then pollination occurs. As a result, here very less number of pollen grains are formed and the pollen grain is sticky. It sticks with the body of the insect. Okay, so these are the different types of the insects are now taking part in the entomophily. So up to entomophily, I discussed with this. Okay. I discussed with you each and every part related to NEET. Hope you understand this. So here I can stop now. Thank you very much to all. See you in next lecture.